Guys, our friends at Ridge have done it again. After creating the world's greatest wallet, they have now launched the Ridge key case. You no longer have to be bulked down by your old jangling keychain. You got to try it out for yourself. Click on the link in the description below. Use the promo code Chael. That's going to get you 10% off. And look how good it goes with my Ridge wallet. The Ridge key case secures between 2 and 6 keys. It organizes your keys in a compact silhouette and folds out for easy access. There are 6 colors and styles, including carbon fiber and my favorite, burnt titanium. The Ridge team is so confident that you like it, they're going to let you test drive it for 45 days. If you don't love it, send it back, get a full refund. Go to ridge.com/Chael to save 10% today, or just click on the link below. Chandler versus Poirier. Have you guys heard that this is 5 rounds? Possibly you heard it from me. It was 5 rounds. I didn't make that up. This thing was, where am I lost at? It's 3 rounds. What happened here? I did not make that up. I would never just create it today, but now I've got to try to go off my memory. And when I Google it, the first thing that popped up is 5 rounds. The second thing that came up is 3 rounds. So I had to go out and get some clarity. It was 5 at one point. Here's the way I remember this. That fight was announced. When they announced the date at Madison Square Garden, they only had one fight attached to it. It was Chandler versus Poirier. So that left us with the belief that that was the main event. But the UFC came in and corrected that pretty quick. Again, guys, this is off my memory. I'm asking you a question here. Came in and corrected that pretty quick. They said, for now, that is the biggest fight attached. We are looking for a title fight. We don't know if we'll get that done. And then it was stated, so what we're going to do with Chandler and Poirier, since we've already announced this and these guys are already going to begin training, we're going to make it 5 rounds, but we're going to keep it 5. If it stays on top, not even a conversation, as you know, but if it comes down because we bring someone over the top, we'll just keep it at 5. Great. That's not the case, but it's a big deal. And I want to clarify this for you guys. When I tell you it's a big deal, I would go as far as to tell you you have 2 different outcomes. Based on if it's 5 rounds, based on if it's 3 rounds. Totally different. And people miss this so many times. I love to use this just as the example. You are doing something different. You change one rule, you are now doing something different. Football becomes 5 quarters. You now have something different. That's not football, that's something else. And we do something else in this sport all the time. But we call it the same sport. And I think that this is just a great juxtaposition. Because I think that a lot of you guys will agree with me. Whoever you would predict to win that fight, if I told you it was a 5-round fight, whoever you would have, you think about it too, right? I mean, these guys are you go back and forth, him and well, can Chandler get him down? And well, can Poirier get to the body? Because, if Chandler's a little bit shorter and he steps the opposite way, I mean, you really start breaking this thing down. But whoever you finally deduced would be the victor. Think about the exact same thing. Make it 3 rounds. Do you have the same victor? I don't know a ton of fights where that would actually change. As much as I want to say they're doing something different, the preparation's different, I'm right on all of those things. The outcome would be pretty steady. At least I would hypothesize. This one, for me, I got a different outcome. Do you? Do you see my point? Do you see? It's very important that we get this cleared up, which is why I'm here. Because I know I told you guys it was 5 rounds, but now I'm sharing why I said that. And if you do a Google search, and all I put in there, if you want to verify old Chael here, all I put in there is Chandler versus Poirier, how many rounds? Question mark. Very first story, 5. Very next story, 3. I go to Mark Ramonde of ESPN.com to get clarity. It's 3 rounds. That's interesting. I think I'd rather see it for 3, by the way. I don't know very many fights that I'd rather see at 5, and I think most of you guys are that way. And it really doesn't matter how much we like the fight. It doesn't really matter how interested you are. If you've got X amount of energy, and you do, if you're going to have X amount of punches and it doesn't change, do you want to see that in 15 minutes, or do you want to see it spread out over 25, right? I mean, that's one of the great misconceptions, but any fighter will tell you, my effort is not going to change. You could make this a 6-minute fight. I'm going to feel the exact same when it's done, which is completely exhausted. I will have nothing left. I will throw all of that in 6 minutes, or I'll stretch it to 15, or we'll move it to 25. Now, that's not going to be the exact... You get my point, though. It largely is. And when you have a volume fighter versus an explosive fighter, and you go from 5 rounds to 3, guys, that's a fascinating point. I mean, it's enough that I need to come over here and I need to amend my statement. I need to correct it for you. I then want to explain, because I've got an ego too, and I don't like to be wrong. I like to explain why I've got it wrong. So does the internet right now. It depends what article you read. Let's clear this up. They're not going 5 rounds. Even if they were, stop. New deal. They're not going 5 rounds. They're going to be treated as they should for a non-headlining spot, which is 3 rounds. Right around the corner. Potential number 1 contenders match. Big stakes on it. Do you believe that your prediction for the outcome would be different if it was 5 rounds?